quickly jump into the next sheet, another lookup value. Now, in this place, okay, let's start by, let's delete the, let me delete this 4 columns from gender to education field. Let me delete them because I want you to be able to see all these columns very well. Now, I'm going to do maybe these first two for you. Or let's just see. Let's see. We'll stop where we stop. Now, in this sheet, okay, I have how many rows? I have 25 rows. Okay. So this is the scenario playing here. This is the scenario playing here. We want to decide whether to promote these people or to increase their salaries or something. Okay. Now, we know their employee ID for each one of them easily. Okay. Now, using the employee ID, we've been able to get their first name, their last name, and their salary. But what of the years they've worked at the company? The years they've worked in their most recent role? The years they've worked since their last promotion? The years they've worked with their current manager? So this is what will determine whether they will get an increase or not. So your own task that they gave you is, we have 25 employees, okay, that we are looking at out of our of all our employees. We have just 25 we are looking at. So for each one of these 25, can you get these details? Get their years at company, years in motion, and the likes. You're not like, where will I get these details from? Is this stored anywhere? And I'll tell you, yes. Take a look at the next sheet. You now go to the next sheet, which is the details sheet. I go to details. Good. Now, this is the details sheet. In the details sheet, how many employees do I have? I see that I have 250. 250 employees. So from these 250, they selected 25. I don't know which 25 they selected because the employee ID here is random. If you look at this, look at the order. You will see that it's not the same order as this one. So I cannot just be copying value and be pasting. Okay. So what can I use to get these values into these cells? Let's start from there. What do you think I can use? So we're going to use the VLOOKUP. Okay, easily. We're going to use the VLOOKUP. And somebody, Tenny James, nice. He says with the employee ID. So VLOOKUP with the employee ID. Great. Okay. Now I am looking up each employee. So their employee ID will be my lookup value. Okay, I am looking up each employee. So their employee ID will simply be my lookup value. All right. So how do we do it? How do we proceed? Very easily. Let's see. I want to get the years as company. Okay. To make my work easy. When I say easy, very easy. Okay. This is a method I didn't use to teach before, but it just gets easier. All right. Let me show you. The first thing I will do is my main data, my main table where I have everything. You can see on this table where I have 250 employees, I have all their details, including their years at company, years in most recent role, years since last promotion, years with current manager. I have all the details. Okay, so easily, I repeat, easily. What I just need you to do is convert this data, this entire range, like this, everything all the way down, convert it to a regular table in Excel. How do you convert to a regular table? You need to select a cell in your data, any cell in your data. When I say any cell in your data, where you have your data, select any cell. If you go outside your data and select, this is outside your data. Don't select outside your data. Select any cell within your data. Okay? Then you press Control T. All right? Control T. T for table. T for table. Control T. Now, it will bring out this window, create table. Okay? It says my table has headers. It has to be ticked. All right? Then you click OK. It will convert it to something like this. As soon as it converts it to this, if you look up to the left-hand side of your ribbon, you will see table name. Do you see that? As soon as it converts to table, immediately, if you look up to the left-hand side, you will see table name. Now, this table name, I'm going to change the name. You can put in any name you want for your table. Me, I will call my own table employees. Now, you need to know something. Whenever you're naming table, you cannot put space. It does not accept space. Okay, so I will call my own table employees and I'll press enter. Now, this table where I have this entire data, you can see where it stops. Where I have this entire data, it is called employees. Okay, now the next thing I'll just simply do is, okay, the columns I want to get, they are in column number what? Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So J is column 10, isn't it? Then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. So column T is 20. That is column 20 in the table. Then years in most recent role is 21. Years since last promotion is 22. Years with current manager is 23. So it means my column index number for years at company would be 20. Now, somebody should remind me again. Let me make sure we're following. What is the name we gave our table? Employees. Beautiful. With an S. Employees. With an S behind. If your own did not have S, there's no problem. Just take note of how you named it. Now, I will now go back to where I want to use that VLOOKUP. So my years at company would now be this. Easily, take a look. Equal to VLOOKUP, open brackets. My lookup value is this person's employee ID. I want to take this person's employee ID to go and look for it where, comma, that is my table array. Now, my table array is that my table, that table that you named, that you called employees. When you type employ, you see that it brings out employees as a table. As soon as you type employ, it brings out employees as a table. I will select it, comma. Now, column index number, years at company, we already said that is column 20. I'll type 20, comma. Range lookup is what? Exact match. And then I'll close my brackets. Now, you will notice I did not say anything about absolute reference here. It's because your table array is already a defined table. We already have a name for that range. So if we're using a name for the range where we have our table, we don't have to use absolute reference because we have already defined that, oh, this range is to be called this name. So that name cannot change. So once I press enter. It gives me that person's years at company. I'll just come back to this cell because I need to replicate the formula down. I'll come back to that cell. I'll come to the bottom right corner, double click, and then boom. You can see for some it gave me 10, for some 6, for some 8. But most of them have worked 10 years with the company. Do you see that? Let's say that's how we even want to start cutting them out. Now, okay, you need to have worked 10 years with the company first. You can see we can easily pick out those people that work less than 10 years, filter them out quickly. But let's go to the years in most recent row. Now, for years in most recent row, this 20 we just changed to 21. So I will come to this cell, click this cell, go to my formula bar, highlight, Control C to copy. Isn't it? Press enter. I will now go to the cell where I want to paste. Click the cell. Before you paste, you need to go to your formula bar, then paste inside your formula bar. Control V to paste. I will change 20 to 21. Press enter. And I'll come here and I'll double click. Pam, pam. Do you see that? Okay. And I'll move to the next one again. Equal to, or simply let's do the copy and paste. So click the cell, go to the next what's it called? Column, press Control V. You have 20. Come here, I change it to 22. Press enter. I have 9. And I'll double click. Pam pam. Finally, this one, click the cell or the formula bar, Control V. I'll change this 23. Press enter. Come back to the cell and I'll double click this. Pam pam. Beautiful. All right. And with that, you have grabbed all the necessary values. Now, someone asked the question that, someone is suggesting, why don't you put it in curly braces and this thing? Well, what if the columns are not together? Okay. I cannot just teach it in this format and then say, you have to put curly braces there. What if someone goes ahead and tries it somewhere else, and then it does not see, what's it called? The columns are not together. And he puts them in curly braces. So we have to consider many factors when teaching, but you can never go wrong with this. Okay. So that is VLOOKUP. Easy, straightforward. Shouldn't be any issue at all. Okay. And that is how beautiful it is. Go over the table name again. Yes, sure, definitely. So to name your table, all you simply need to do is you need to click somewhere in your cell. Okay, somewhere in your data. Click any cell in your data first. Any cell in your data. Then you press Control T for table. Once you press Control T for table, I have already converted my own table. Okay, so it won't work again. So unless I first convert it to range, and I don't want to do that. So once you press Control T, it will bring out a pop-up box for you. And you click OK. So it converts this to a table. Okay. Now, if you now take note of something. Now, currently, this is my table. I select any cell, but I don't have the table name showing again. You need to go to where you have table design. If you look up, you will see table design. in your ribbon tab now. Table design. Click on table design and it brings you to the table. So for your table, you can decide to change it to any color you want. For instance, this is currently showing blue. I can change it to orange or green or purple. Or is this violet? Anyone? Okay. Or black and white, black, gray, and white. Do you see that? So you can do this. Your header row, if you tick it off, it takes away the column header. I'm going to return it back. Total row, if you tick it at the bottom, anywhere you have quantitative value, it gets like the total. First column, last column, you can tick it to make it bold. You see that? And then let me see what again. So if you add data to the bottom, okay, if you want to add a new employee to this data or to this table, all you just need to do is just come to the bottom. Okay, once you type in the employee ID, so the person that's registering the person, is from the user input that is going to be entering it. So we just type it. Please give me a minute. So once the value enters into this cell, let's say I just give the person a particular employee ID. Let me say G34, then 67HY. And once I press enter, you can see this line gets highlighted quickly. It has taken it as part of the table. Okay, so I can enter every other detail for the person. The person is a new employee. Now, okay, so I'm going to undo. Now, if it's column as well, if you go to the next column, and let's say there's a new variable you are considering, you also want to consider their height. Once you type height and you press enter, you can see quickly it takes it as part of the table. Okay, and then you put their height or something there. So it does not have to be a big range of data.
Endeavor to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. See you in our next class. Bye.